All right, today we are taking a look at the Kingbull Ranger. This is, as far as I know, Kingbull's cheapest entry at $799. I've reviewed some Kingbull bikes in the past, and I've always been impressed with their build quality, though this one does have a noticeable drop-off in build quality, but the price does reflect that at $799. All right, I wanted to get a speedometer accuracy test done on this, but my phone is not picking up a GPS signal. It is very, very cloudy out today, and I think we're going to be racing rain. This is not a bike that people are going to buy to win races on, so we're just going to go with whatever the speedometer says. It's probably accurate within a mile per hour or two, but I don't have any way to actually confirm it today. Anyway, here we go. Pedal assist level 1, me not pedaling. Throttle only. I weigh 190 and the bike weighs this many because I forgot to look it up before I left. And it looks like in pedal assist level 1 the bike caps out at about 6 miles per hour. Let's go up into level 2, holding throttle. Level 2 is capping us at 12 miles per hour. Again, me not pedaling. Level 3. Looks like 19 miles per hour. Level 4. About 24 miles per hour. 25 miles per hour. And level 5 should cap us at 28, according to the built-in speedometer. Yeah, level 5. Alright, I'm going to have to do a follow-up on this and get in a check on the GPS, because this is saying 31, and I really don't believe that. Alright, it's a few days later, and I just wanted to break from the video to get in a speedometer accuracy test for this bike, because I was getting it up to like 31 miles per hour on the trails, and that seemed to me to be not accurate. So I'm going to do a speedometer accuracy test now. We're not going for top speed. I just want to make sure that the GPS on my phone matches the speedometer on the bike here. And it is a bright, bright day out here, and that is really hard to see. I've got the brightness turned up as far as I can go. But anyway, let's just test the speedometer accuracy now. I'm just going to go down the road to see if the GPS matches the speedometer, and we will see if they line up. Let's go this way and rip down the road. Alright, we're clear, let's go. Going to get out of the wind here for a second so I can talk, but it looks like the speedometer is not accurate. I hit 27 on GPS while the speedometer was reading 31 miles per hour, so off quite a bit. But anyway, let's do a brake check. The brakes are 180 millimeter hydraulic brakes. With that out of the way, let's go down and do our 16-mile range test. So I'm going to ride down 8 miles to Eagle Hill, which is exactly 8 miles from where we started, and then I'm going to ride back 8 miles, and we're going to see where we're at for battery life. But I am going to work in a hill test on the way down there. We're going to be doing this at 19 miles per hour because I'm racing the rain here, but this bike does have an 18 amp hour, but this bike does have a 48 volt 18 amp hour battery, so we should have plenty of energy to get down there and get back. I will not be pedaling this bike, as it is a moped style bike, and they are not the best at offering ease of pedaling at my height, which is 5'10". The bike rides really nice. It's got dual spring suspension in the back. It's doing a great job of absorbing all the dips and bumps in this trail. And this is a fairly smooth trail, but it's got its share of wiggles and vibrations for sure. And the bike's got pretty tall BMX style handlebars, so it sits at a pretty comfortable position. Okay, we're gonna go down and do a hill test now. And as we get up over this one little hump here, pay attention to what this hill looks like off in the distance, because the closer we get to it, the more the action camera is going to flatten it out. And action cameras lie when it comes to hills. This is a pretty steep hill, and when we get there to the base, I'm going to go up into level 5. I'm not going to pedal, but we're going to see how well the bike makes it up this hill under its own power. All right, here we go. We are at the base of this hill now. We're going to take off from a dead stop, full throttle, level 5, me not pedaling. This bike is not the most torquey bike I've ever tested for sure. And it would definitely be making it up here a lot faster if I would crank the pedals a little bit, but oh, it's starting to run out of steam. We're down to 13 miles per hour, but we're almost at the top of the hill. And hey, here we are. We're at the top. It did it. Slowly, but it did it. With that, I'm going to turn around and we're going to run down the hill. That's the fun part. We're going to run down in level 5, and I really want to get back to the trail as fast as possible because I do not like riding these country roads with blind curves and blind hills on an e-bike. People fly through here. Here we go. We got the downhill advantage now. 31 miles per hour. Again, I don't think that speedometer is accurate because that's what we got on flat ground. And it looks like 31 miles per hour is where it cuts out too. Yeah, we're even on flat ground now and it's still holding 31. Alright, here we go. Back on the trail. And not a moment too soon. Yeah, this is where we really need that oomph, and the lack of torque that the bike has would really help in crossing roads. But as you can see there, I had it up in level 5, and getting across the road was not fast. So, a fast bike, this is definitely not. But I just discovered something. All right, let me roll back on the throttle and hold it there for a few seconds. This bike has cruise control. So after holding the throttle for a few seconds, I noticed it up in level 5 that it stayed there. And when I let off the throttle, it didn't drop. So again, here I'm in level 3. I rolled back on the throttle, held it there for maybe 10 seconds or so, and now it's holding 19 miles per hour. So to cancel that, we just tap the brakes, and now it's dropping. But yeah, I love cruise control on an e-bike, especially a little casual rider like this. That makes this casual ride even more casual. I'm all for it. All right, let's do a walk around of the Kingbull Ranger so you can see what you get with this bike. It's a pretty standard cut and dry moped style e-bike. We do get a rack in the back so you can mount stuff back here, and you do have the option to take the rack off should you so choose. Now originally the tail light came mounted here, but there's enough cable to run it back here if you do choose to use the rack, but that is up to the user to do that. As I said, it comes out of the box with the tail light right here. We have CST BFT brand tires, and that's a good thing because most e-bikes come with one of 4 sets of tires. They either come with Dinputs, which is the worst case scenario, Chow Yangs, which is the next step up, CST, which is the next step up from Chow Yang, or the top of the line is generally Kenda, so these are more in the top 75%. We get a 7-speed gear set, Shimano tourney derailleur, dual shocks in the back, 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery, single ring chain guard, metal pedals, non-adjustable shocks but dual crown fork, nice big headlight up front. It is super, super bright out today, so I don't know if you're going to be able to see the headlight or not, but that's what it looks like with the headlight on. We also have, of course, our tail light, which also functions as a brake light. And we have turn signals in the rear, left and right. We got plastic fenders front and rear, and I actually prefer plastic fenders over metal because they have a little bit of flex and they are quiet. If you want to take a passenger, you've got these folding pegs, and this is something that the buyer has to put on themselves, and these are a pain to put on. We got pretty nice grips. These are the round padded grips. They're not those like flat ergonomic grips that you get with a lot of e-bikes, and I prefer these. We have 180 millimeter hydraulic disc brakes, and these are pretty good brakes on this bike. I have said this many times, but here's my obligatory shot talking about why I love moped style bikes, because they fit standing up in the back of my van and they are just so much easier to haul than most other bikes. I've said it many times, but it is true. And I'm really liking this one because it's got this rack back here, so it's a good blend of moped fun and rack practicality. And as you can see, I will be putting that to use today on this ride. All right, we're coming up on the 7-mile marker, which is this little green bicycle sign right here. We got 1 more mile to go to Eagle Hill, which is the exact 8-mile mark. And at that point, I'm going to turn around and rush back. I plan on stopping up there and doing a walk around of the bike, but we're going to do that in a different location because every time I stop today, I get swarmed by mosquitoes, so I got to keep moving not to get eaten. It's cloudy out and rain is coming, so I think the mosquitoes are just going crazy today before the rain. Here we go, we're coming up on Eagle Hill. Normally I stop and do another little hill test here, but we already did the major hill climb and this bike did it. So we're just going to go up here and turn around and keep moving so as not to get eaten. All right, here we go, Eagle Hill. This is our 8-mile mark. I'm going to turn around here and head back and talk about our battery life so far, which is still sitting at 5 bars. Now, I wouldn't trust that that is an actual 5 bars of energy. It's probably closer to like 80%, though this bike does have a very big battery, but I've ridden it down here without any pedaling at all. I've basically made the bike do all of the work. So at 750, if it's a 750 watt motor, me weighing 190 pounds and the bike weighing, I'm going to guess the bike weighs in the 70s for poundage. Pretty considerable amount of weight to be continuously moving at 19 miles per hour. So it should have burnt a considerable amount of energy getting down here, and we're still sitting at 5 bars. I would guess it's probably closer to like 75 or 80%. And by the time we get back, it's probably going to be down to like, 60%. A lot of these cheaper battery meters on these e-bikes, when you're up close to 100%, it really wants to like stay at 100% forever. And when you drop down to like 50%, at that point, it plummets to 0 very quickly. So when you see the battery meter start dropping, you're probably more likely at about 50 or 60% at that point. But anyway, I'm going to ride back 8 miles to the beginning of the ride. I'm going to wrap things up there. But now I want to talk about my final thoughts on this bike, and that is that it is worth it for $799. You don't get the quality that you get from other Kingbull bikes. This is really kind of on par with just about anything that you would order off of Amazon at the same price point. But you do get Kingbull's customer support with this, which I have found to be pretty good. Anyway, that's everything I have to say about the Kingbull Ranger. If you want to stick around till the end of the video to see the results of the final range test and see just how far this massive battery could potentially take us, stick around and I'll be covering that shortly. Aside from that, thanks for watching. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time. All right, at this point in the ride, it says we've gone 16.2 miles, and we've got at least another mile to get back. So the odometer accuracy is off by a little bit, so I would guess the speedometer accuracy is off by a little bit too. But like I said, I'm going to have to test that later because I can't get a GPS signal today. All right, I've got a little bit less than a mile to go to wrap this ride up, and we're at almost 17 miles on the odometer. I'm going to talk about what I think is the biggest strength of this bike, and that is its massive 18 amp hour battery. We're almost back to the end of the ride. The odometer says that we've done 17 miles per hour. We've got maybe a half a mile to go. I'm talking about this now because when I get back to the van, I gotta jump off this bike, throw it in the van, and hop in to not get eaten by mosquitoes. So I think that the odometer is accurate enough, and we're at 4 bars out of 5 on the energy meter, and the biggest strength of this bike is that massive 18 amp hour battery. I've seen bigger, but they get pretty costly, and most bikes in this class at this price range fall in the 15 amp hour range, though as we move along with e-bikes, they are getting more powerful, storing more energy in their batteries, and they are getting cheaper. So this one definitely is an example of that, where things have gotten cheaper, but the battery capacity has gotten bigger. It's a 48 volt, 18 amp hour battery. Anyway, I'm almost back to the beginning now. Like I said, I gotta hop off this bike and really hustle to not get eaten alive by the mosquitoes. So thank you so much for watching. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time.